Set up KVM and HP Device Bridge 2.0 with your HP monitor. What is KVM? KVM stands for Keyboard, Video, and Mouse. This feature is useful for when you have two computers connected to one HP monitor. A KVM switch on the monitor allows the user to switch between the two connected computers while using the same keyboard and mouse. How to set up KVM? Connect your PCs to the monitor using a USB-C cable or a Thunderbolt cable. If you are connecting to your monitor using an HDMI cable or a DisplayPort cable, then you also need to connect an additional USB-C to USB-A or USB-B to USB-A cable to assist with upstreaming data. To set up KVM, you must first go to the monitor on-screen display menu, or OSD menu for short. The OSD buttons are usually found on the back bezel of the monitor. Press 1 to open the menu. Once the OSD menu opens, go to the power option on the left. Then select Power Mode and make sure Performance is selected. Select the Input option on the left, select Auto Switch Input, and then select On. Select the Split Screen option on the left. If you connected a PC to the monitor using an HDMI or DisplayPort cable, you must also set the devices up with the correct binding. Select USB host, KVM, then select Bind USB host to a specific input. Select the cable combination that you are binding. Select Back and then select Back again to return to the split screen menu. If you would like the monitor to show display from only one of the connected computers, select Off. This means that when you have both computers connected to the monitor, only one of them displays. Double-tap the Control button on the keyboard to switch the monitor view to the other computer. Double-tap the Control button on the keyboard to switch back to the first computer. If you would like both computers to display on the monitor, select PBP, Picture by Picture. This means that when you have both computers connected to the monitor, both computer screens display. Double-tap the Control button on the keyboard to switch between the two computer screens on the monitor. What is Smart KVM? Smart KVM prioritizes control to a connected PC based on the connection type as soon as it is connected. The order of prioritization is Thunderbolt, then USB-C, then HDMI or DisplayPort. This means that if you are in single screen mode and you connect a PC using a Thunderbolt cable, the monitor view and keyboard and mouse controls automatically switch to that PC. This happens even if the priority PC is in sleep mode. How to set up Smart KVM? Open the OSD menu and go to the Power option on the left. Then select Power Mode and make sure Performance is selected. Select the Input option on the left and then select Auto Switch Input. Make sure the boxes are selected for the options USB-C Video Auto Switch and do not auto switch away from USB-C until cable is disconnected. Smart KVM is now enabled. Now that the Thunderbolt connected PC is prioritized, you can disconnect the other PC that is a non-Thunderbolt connection, and the monitor will remain on the display from the Thunderbolt connection. The Thunderbolt connected PC will be priority even if it is in sleep mode. Only when you disconnect the Thunderbolt connected PC will the monitor switch to the other PC connection. If you reconnect the Thunderbolt connected PC, the monitor and controls switch back to that PC. This feature can be helpful when working in hybrid work scenarios, where different employees share desks and simultaneously use both shared PCs and personal PCs. You can also use Smart KVM in picture-by-picture mode. If you enabled PBP, Picture-by-Picture mode in the OSD menu and are working with both PCs displayed, Smart KVM prioritizes the keyboard and mouse controls to the Thunderbolt connected PC. If you disconnect the Thunderbolt connected PC, controls switch to the other PC and the other PC changes to whole screen mode. If you reconnect the Thunderbolt connected PC, the monitor resumes dual screen mode and gives control of the mouse and keyboard to the Thunderbolt connected PC. What is Device Bridge? HP Device Bridge 2.0 is a software solution that allows you to use a single keyboard and mouse and simultaneously work across a split screen with two connected computers. The software is compatible with computers running a Windows or Mac OS operating system. This means that you can link a Windows computer with a Mac computer and switch between them simply by moving the mouse from one side of the screen to the other. Sharing files between both computers is completely seamless. How to set up Device Bridge. To set up HP Device Bridge 2.0, the software must be installed on both computers. For Windows computers, you can download the software from HP Display Center. Click the Multi-Screen tab and then, under Device Bridge, click Install to begin the installation. For both Windows and Mac computers, you can also install by going to support.hp.com/drivers. Follow the on-screen instructions to identify your product, and then download and install Device Bridge 2.0 from the Software Solutions section. Once the software has been installed and turned on for both computers, use the OSD buttons on the monitor to open the OSD menu. To use Device Bridge, you must make sure the USB-C configuration is set to USB 3.0. To do this, select the Input option on the left and select USB-C configuration. Select USB-C Video plus USB 3.2. Select the Split Screen option on the left and then enable the Device Bridge option. Now you can move the mouse back and forth between the two computer screens on the monitor. To transfer files, you can easily drag a file from one screen to the other. If you want to disable file transfer between the two computers, open the OSD menu. Select the Split Screen option on the left. Select Device Bridge File Transfer and then select Disable. Now when you go to drag and drop a file between the screens, it will not transfer. Device Bridge Limitations. Device Bridge has the following limitations. The feature is only supported on select HP monitors. A USB 3.0 or higher connection from the monitor to both PCs is required. Key combinations on the keyboard are only supported on the first PC. Due to some restrictions, certain Windows hotkey combinations on the keyboard may not be used across hosts. Device Bridge is not compatible with USB port security software. How to resolve issues with Device Bridge. To resolve any Device Bridge issues, there are a few common troubleshooting steps that you can follow. Update the monitor firmware to the latest version available from support.hp.com. For both PCs, update the Device Bridge software to the latest version available from support.hp.com. Check the monitor OSD settings and confirm Picture-by-Picture is set to On. Device Bridge data transfer is set to Enable, and the USB-C configuration is set to USB 3. For Mac computers, disable AirDrop functionality to avoid interference with Device Bridge. Close HP Display Center if it is running on the PC. Finally, if none of the previous steps have resolved the issue, restart both PCs and disconnect the power cord from the monitor for 60 seconds to reset the system. Contact HP support if you have any questions about the settings for your HP monitor.